see if I can start this and hopefully no one will walk through. Pretty sure we also don't get an intro with the narration from Watson. Yeah, we don't get one. Right, it's in the middle at some point. It is November. Oh! Oh! Hold the phone. What is this track? Okay, November 3rd, 9:14 in the morning, the Old Bailey's Defendants Lobby. Well then. Today is finally the day. Today is the day that everything will be decided. Susato-san, I'll be counting on your help today. Susato-san? What? She just threw me! Oh, what happened to you, Naruhodō-sama? Just saying I'd be counting on your help. I'm so sorry. I look forward to working with you today too, incompetent though I am. Please, do your best. Could you maybe start by letting me up? Oh, I'm so sorry. Susato! Holy crap. Are you okay? Sato-san. She's acting awfully strange today. I completely understand, of course. After all, not only did she just find out that her own father was the partner of an internationally renowned famous detective, but... good morning. Lord Van Zeeks. I place myself in your care. Huh? What did he just say? What? Nothing. I look forward to working with you today. This is weird. His face is stern, but he's acting very agreeably. Ever since yesterday, he hasn't been very Grim Reaper-y. He was never the Grim Reaper to start with. True. The Grim Reaper, huh? Now that I think about it, maybe I really should have rejected that name when they first started calling me that 10 years ago. Eh? As a result of me silently accepting that moniker. As a result of me acting under the name the Grim Reaper, this is where we now find ourselves. But it wasn't your fault, Van Zeeks-sama. Accepting that name has caused a dramatic decrease in the number of crimes in this city. That's why you originally took on that name. Thinking about it now, it wasn't just that. What do you mean? There were rumors at the time that the one truly behind the Grim Reaper was my brother's ghost. Clint was robbed of his life by that serial killer, but he returned as the Grim Reaper. And he was wielding the sword of justice in my stead. That was the rumor. Actually, we heard about that too. At the time, I felt as though my guiding light had been snuffed out after losing him. And so, perhaps I simply wanted to feel Klim's presence in some small way. Even if it was as some phantom that someone had just invented. He must have been very important to you. But Van Zeeks-sama. In any case, there's only one fact here that really matters. That's that you didn't kill anyone. I'll be certain to prove that in today's trial. I never thought this day would come. Your eyes, I see. The true light of one who seeks the truth. I'm forced to admit that you're a proper defense attorney. Lord Van Zieks. Oh, well thanks, Lord Van Zieks. I appreciate it. We've gotten so far. Incidentally, where is the scent of that refined smelling tea that keeps wafting through here coming from? Iris-chan, when on earth did you...
Yeah, this is my special blend of tea. It's good for clearing your head. Holmesy's rather fancies it too.
Oh! Thank you. Oh, that's so cute! I feel like I might never see anything like this again. That's so cute! You seem a little different today from usual, Iris-chan.
Ah?
Kind of quiet, or
I am not.
She must still be thinking about what happened yesterday. About the record she took from Dr. Sith's operation room.
Now then, do your best, you two. I've got to get going soon, so... Huh? You're leaving?
Iris-chan, I was hoping you watched the trial today.
I really did want to stick around and cheer you on. But I've got some things of my own to prepare.
Prepare?
Oh, and... take this, okay?
This is the doll that's always hanging around from your bag.
Yep, it's a charm. It's Holmesy. I made it myself.
Home-san. I wonder why she chose to make him a rabbit.
In today's trial, if you find yourself driven into a corner that you can't escape, try pulling Mr. Bunny's ear as hard as you can.
Huh? Pull the ear?
Yep, it's a good luck charm. I'm sure you'll be needing it.
Iris's charm. Bunny Home-san. He told us to yank his ear if we're in trouble. Okay.
Need it. Do you mean good luck? I had a little peek into the courtroom earlier. The atmosphere in there was pretty much totally different from usual.
It sounds as though that person has decided to act out in earnest.
Come to think of it, Iris-sama, where's Home-sama? Huh, actually, he never came home last night. I thought so.
Sato-san, did Professor Mikatoba also not...
No, he didn't. I sent a telegram to the hotel this morning, but... sounds as though none of them returned to the hotel.
None of them?
Yes. Neither my dad, nor Jigoku-sama.
Jigoku? The judge?
Yes. I thought it was strange that we didn't see him yesterday.
Defendant! Defense! It's almost time for court to reconvene. Proceed to the courtroom at once.
Well, do your best, Naruhodō-kun. You too, Susato-chan.
Right. Thanks, Iris-chan.
You too, Reapy.
Oh! I thank you for that fragrant cup of tea. It was soothing.
Oh! I'm so glad.
Oh no, it's so cute!
In that case, let's head inside, Van Zieks-sama.
Oh, you're fine. Lord Van Zieks has always been a formidable opponent in court. But today, going to fight to prove his innocence. This time, my opponent is my best friend, the man I trust more than anyone, Asogi Kazuma. A few months ago, he traveled across the ocean as if guided by something, and arrived in this country. Now I understand. All these mysterious twists of fate were all so that we could face each other in court today. This is a long loading screen. It's the same day, 9:30 in the morning, the Old Bailey Supreme Court. No one's talking. I'm slightly scared. The atmosphere in the courtroom is even heavier than usual. I can feel the gallery members' frigid gazes as if they're stabbing me.
Naruhodō-sama, look at that!
What? Lord Hard Vortex. Huh? Why? Did you know about this, Asogi? This case goes beyond the death of just a single detective who has already been murdered. This trial has become one that has rocked the English justice system to its core. The condemned criminal broke out of prison the night he was to be executed, and there was an illegal shooting. Additionally, someone within the prison would have needed to cooperate in the breakout plan. Currently, the leaders of the legal systems from many nations around the world have gathered here in London. On the honor of the great British Empire, we shall today reveal the truth in this trial. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I declare court to be in session. And I, Hart Vortex, claim all the rights available to me as the presiding judge. What the crap? God damn it, Hart Vortex. You were already kind of suspicious, but this is not how I wanted things to end up. The 6 flames representing votes. Picking up where yesterday's trial left off, the members of the gallery in today's trial are all members of our nation's fair legal system. They shall bear witness to today's trial. By which you mean your henchmen, do you not, Lord Vortex? Great! Now I have to do something here. Personally, I'm deeply disappointed by all this, Lord Baroque Van Zeeks. After all, you are an outstanding prosecutor. Just like your brother, Klimt Van Zeeks. Yeah, I need to change. Oh, what the heck? He's using his cane as the... He's so extra! In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare court to be in session. Whoops. This is the fair and just trial of the defendant, Baroque Van Zeeks. Allow me to ask both the prosecution and the defense, are you both perfectly prepared to make your cases? The defense is ready. The prosecution is as well. In yesterday's trial, a shocking fact was revealed. The victim, Detective Gregson, had another side to him that Scotland Yard didn't know about. Apparently, he had a special mission that he was hiding from the Yard. And the man had an accomplice. Mr. Everett Daywatchen. The victim gave him his ID and had him pretend to be Detective Gregson in order to create an alibi for himself. His goal was to give the impression that he was conducting investigations according to the instructions he was given by the Yard. At the end of the trial, Mr. Dai Gyakuten regained his memories. The memories he sealed away in the depths of his heart in order to protect himself. 10 years ago, as the head jailer, he allowed a condemned criminal to escape. Every Dai Gyakuten is currently undergoing treatment at St. Antrude's Hospital. He's already regained his composure and has signed the affidavit. An affidavit stating that on the day of the incident... Hello. Oh, thank you for hosting, 1010. An affidavit stating that on the day of the incident, he disguised himself as the victim and went to perform an undercover investigation of the Red-Headed League. The detail that ended up becoming a sticking point was the victim's time of death. Events presented the possibility that the victim had already been murdered the day before the incident. Affidavit. Excuse me. Based on the fact that the victim's pocket watch hadn't been wound. What is this, Outrun Future? The prosecution has something to report regarding the detail. Oh, let us hear it then, Prosecutor Asogi. The result of the secondary autopsy by the coroner, which I stood witness to, is that the defense's claim was correct. That was admitted. There's a possibility that Detective Gregson was killed on October 31st, the day before the incident. This is the updated autopsy report. Well, there we go! An updated autopsy report. However, the crime lab's official opinion was already submitted yesterday. The opinion that the victim's time of death was 5 p.m. on November 1st. There were indications of the time of death having been forged. It's possible that the body was refrigerated in order to slow decomposition. Impossible. There is no household in London that possesses a large enough icebox to accomplish such a thing. However, that's no more than a theory. It's a possibility indicated by the evidence that we must investigate. Very well. The court shall accept that new record into evidence. However, if what is recorded here is indeed the truth, then naturally, that would mean that the victim's actions the day before the incident are very significant. Precisely. After all, that day, Detective Gregson had slipped away using Mr. Dai Gyakuten as his proxy. We can assume that it's possible that the actual murder occurred in the midst of his special mission. It sounds as though the prosecution has an answer. Scotland Yard was investigating it all of yesterday. All of yesterday? Scotland Yard was investigating it all of yesterday. Hold on. Scotland Yard was investigating it all. As of yesterday? You know, Hikari's out now, so I can't do anything about that. The prosecution believes that it should begin its report with the results of the investigation. Now then, escort the first witness to the stand.
Gina!
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Inspector Gina Lestrade. I'm a detective representing Scotland Yard.
Part of that was simply her own assertion, but it's true for the most part. Wow, that's mean! What's Gina-san doing here again?
What?
Naruhodō.
You're making that face like, what's Gina-san doing here again? I'll have you know, I owe the boss my life!
Oh, Detective Gregson.
I was taken in by the boss off the alleys of the East End and became a detective. And thanks to that, I finally understand what it means to be alive.
That's why. The one who should be testifying for the boss is me! Oh, Gina.
Gina-sama.
I heard it was actually Home-san who arranged all that, though. Anyway, according to the results of the investigation conducted by the Yard, it's true. Detective Gregson had indeed accepted another mission, separate from the police. Dear God. Judging by the look on his face, it looks like Lord Vortex already knew that. I don't know, I feel like I could be a lot smoother with a Sogi if I just only had to voice a Sogi, but you know. Now then, are you ready, Gina Lestrade? You will now report the results of Scotland Yard's investigation.
Yes, sir!
The victim's movements the day before. The rule is for Yard's detectives to accept orders from headquarters and investigate accordingly. We searched the boss's office and found a notebook with secret plans written in it that differed from the others. According to those, that day, the boss was going to investigate a smuggling transaction. It must have been a huge operation that the police department didn't know about yet. By the way, there's more than one person saying they saw the Grim Reaper there. Smuggling?
Don't ask me! It was all written in here!
Tobacco, tea, spices, herbs. All sorts of smuggled goods end up in London. Every so often, black markets are held somewhere in order to sell those goods. There were known rumors to that effect, but the police still didn't have any leads. So Detective Gregson was investigating the location of that. There's intelligence stating that there are high-ranking members of the government involved in the black market. In order to prevent information being leaked to those involved, he operated in secret. And attempted to prevent the exchange at the place where it was due to be conducted, all without informing headquarters. And where was the exchange going to be conducted? The room of a certain club where gentlemen from London's top echelons gather. And it just so happens that the defendant was there that day as well. That's what Scotland Yard's investigation concluded. Ridiculous! I didn't hear anything about that. Those who were present at the club testified to that fact. There's no mistaking that the defendant, Lord Van Zieks, was there. What fascinating testimony.
No, Van Zieks-sama. He didn't say a word about that to us.
This means that Lord Van Zieks had an opportunity to murder the victim. Well, crap. Ding! In that case, defense, you may conduct your cross-examination. God, I don't want this guy to be the judge. This is too intimidating. No pressure! No pressure! I still love that cut-in. Alright. According to those, that day the boss was investigating a smuggling transaction. By the way, where was that transaction supposed to happen? Ah, that was also recorded in Boss's book. As I previously stated, it was in the room of a certain club. So I heard. If possible, I'd like to know the name of that club. It doesn't matter. Huh? A transaction may occur at that club again someday. Therefore, there's no need to reveal the name here. But it doesn't harm anyone to know!
What? But all we'd have to do is read what's written in here. Oh, by the way, I finally finished learning how to read recently. I worked really hard at it, so I'd like to try it now. Reading this, I mean.
Judge hasn't banged his gavel yet. Should I press the issue of the site of the transaction? Demand to hear it or wait and see? This trial is unpublicized and top secret. I should think there's little worry of information being leaked. It's possible that there are members of the British government involved in the black market. We must proceed with caution. I'm sure that's the prosecution's opinion on the matter. The prosecution has no objections. Sogi. It's true that Detective Gregson was investigating the black market. However, as for whether he was pursuing the matter that day, there's no proof. If the defense insists, the prosecution sees no need to impede his investigation.
Alright, got it. That means I'll just have to read it out smoothly for everyone then, huh? The place where the transaction was supposed to take place was a club called the Bar Block.
Oh, there's a lot of evidence here. Hold on a second.
Oh, this appears to be a ship ticket, doesn't it? Steamship RFS Bar Block, first class cabin, cabin number 1. Departing Yokohama on September 11th, arriving in London November 1st.
This must be the steamship Professor Mikatoba and Judge Jikoku came over on.
It seems that it made port in Dunkirk, France the night before it arrived in the Great British Empire.
One second, I need to adjust this thing so I can see. It's already been a year since we arrived in London on the RFS Alucre. Not every day you buy a ship ticket. I think you should have kept it as a souvenir.
I agree. I shut mine away in my diary.
I've been carrying mine in my wallet and walking around with it this whole... Huh? It's gone.
I suppose perhaps that's just men for you.
You let out a little sigh at me. Professor's letter of introduction. A letter from Professor Mikatoba to Chief Officer Barricade introducing us. It seems to have been written on the back of a ship's ticket. Ugh, ship ticket. Blah, blah, blah. I read that in this country, there are social meeting places known as clubs. They seem to have an image as a place where gentlemen of a certain age gather at night to play cards. Of a certain age gather at night to play cards. It's not the type of place a foreign exchange student like you will ever be allowed to set foot in.
Who the heck do you think you are?
Did the transaction really occur at a club called the Bar Block? The matter is still under investigation. We haven't found proof yet. Unfortunately, you may never find such proof. What do you mean? The place that Detective Gregson went to in secret on October 31st was not a club. That's why. Oh, that's why. Excuse me. What a bold move, calling the investigation of our nation's main police force in question. If it wasn't a club, then what do you claim it was? A steamship. A ship. This is the proof. This is... I swear to you that this black-clad youth isn't suspicious. It's the part on the back. Tell us these things sooner. You're right. This appears to be a steamship ticket. Or the RFS Bar Block. The steamship RSS Bar Block, so there coincidentally happened to be a ship with the name. However, there appears to be a contradiction in your claim. What do you mean? You do well to note the date of port entry on this ticket. It arrived at Dover Harbor in the Great British Empire on November 1st. Oop. That's the very day that the gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, the day in question, October 31st, was the day that the victim was carrying out his secret mission. That steamship still hadn't even arrived at port in the Great British Empire yet. A solid point that would have made it impossible for him to have conducted an undercover investigation. The steamship hadn't arrived in England yet. That fact is precisely the proof of the fact that the victim was investigating on the RFS Bar Block that day. In that case, show us some proof. All right. Yeah, sure, I can do that. In that case, the court orders the defense to present evidence. The evidence indicating that the victim was investigating the RFS Bar Block on October 31st is... We're opening this trunk? Right now? Let's try opening this trunk? Question mark? Ooh boy! Ah! What is all this goodies? Looks like there's something inside this trunk.
It's a passport, if I'm not mistaken.
Did Detective Gregson plan to travel overseas or something?
The date on this passport is...
What's wrong?
October 31st, the day before the incident.
What? A passport owned by Detective Gregson, issued for the day before the incident, and the destination is France. Did Detective Gregson go to France the day before the incident? Oh! Oh no! Oh! I don't like the look of that. I really don't. Oh man, that looks like a cut from a sword. There seems to be a big scratch here. That's a big slice. It's sliced through the leather and dug into the metal underneath. In order to leave such a big scratch on a metal trunk, we can assume that it must have taken quite a blow. Or, okay, I missed the line. How could such a deep scratch have been made? I don't like that! Oh no! Oh, this just keeps getting worse! This just keeps getting worse! This dark stain might be... Yes, it's likely a blood stain. Blood? That must mean that this trunk was at the scene of the crime when Detective Sama was killed. That's what we can conclude. The fact that Gina-san was carrying something like this around. Maybe she thought it was a sauce stain from his fish and chips. Sauce stain! Okay. Oh, I don't like the stuff that we just found on there. Nope. Nope. Not at all. I'm gonna save. I don't like where this is gonna go. This is a passport issued to the victim. The date it was issued for is October 31st. What? That's exactly one day before the incident. Detective Gregson wasn't even in the Great British Empire. Take that, Asogi. Order! Order! The destination. was France. This is indeed an official document. The day before the steamship, the RFS Bar Block arrived in the Great British Empire. It stopped over in France. According to my father, who was on board, it stopped at Dunkirk Harbor. France. What on earth was the victim doing there? I should have known. Naruhodō Ryūnosuke. I never imagined you'd even manage to get your hands on his passport. Quite the surprise. Huh? Wait! Did you already know? The prosecution's fundamental plan of action is all determined by the prosecutor's office. The day before the incident, the victim was investigating the black market at a club in London. That was the conclusion the prosecutor's office was led to based on the report from Scotland Yard. This is a mouthful for me to read. But personally, I couldn't agree with that conclusion. For some reason, the prosecutor's office was trying to obscure a certain fact. What? Now that the prosecutor's office's claim has crumbled, I can finally indicate the truth. What do you think you're playing at, Prosecutor Sogi? The court is a garden of judgment, made for finding the truth. That's why I intend to present the information that I know. That seems to have been your intention all along, Prosecutor Sogi. The reason that Detective Gregson disappeared and was on a steamship bound for France was in order to fulfill his mission as the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper? Order! Order! What are you talking about, Prosecutor Sogi? During yesterday's trial, the prosecution made the following claim. Detective Gregson was investigating the identity of the Grim Reaper. That's when he located that hideout. That's why he was killed. Yes. By none other than the Grim Reaper. Bless his theme, by the way. However, the truth was, it was the other way around. The other way around? Detective Gregson wasn't investigating the Grim Reaper. Gregson himself was the Grim Reaper's pawn. So then, his mission? Naturally, it would have been assassination. Baroque Van Zieks had never harmed anyone himself as the Grim Reaper. Whenever any of the victims were killed, he always had an alibi. Which means that he must have had an accomplice doing his dirty work for him. And you intend to claim that that accomplice was Detective Gregson. Hold it! What are you blabbing about? There's no way my boss would ever do something like that! However, if we assume that, everything makes sense. But Detective Gregson-sama was acting as the Grim Reaper's pawn. That was the fact that we uncovered as well. But as for the true identity of the Grim Reaper who was giving Detective Gregson his orders, it definitely wasn't Lord Van Zieks. Someone else was the Grim Reaper. Lord Baroque Van Zieks wasn't the Grim Reaper. Well, I suppose as his lawyer, you have no choice but to say that. Besides, even if we say for the sake of argument that Detective Gregson was the Grim Reaper's pawn, we can't say for certain that his goal in going to the RFS Bar Block was assassination. Oh, and what makes you say that? It's simple. That night, on the RFS Bar Block, no one ended up dead due to the assassination. Due to assassination. I need a break soon. Professor Mikatoba and Judge Jigoku were on that steamship too. there had been a murder on board, they definitely would have mentioned it to us. What are you laughing at? It's as you say. There were no mysterious deaths aboard that steamship. But it seems as though you don't realize. That's precisely why Detective Gregson was killed. What? Detective Gregson headed for the RFS Barra block in order to carry out his assassination mission. However, he ended up failing to accomplish that mission. He failed. It seems that there's an important fact here that you're still unaware of. What's that? An important fact? Witness, Detective Gina Lestrade. What? In regards to the victim's notebook that you read to us earlier, what was written in it was not information about any secret investigations. It was the plans for all the murders that the Grim Reaper has committed over the past 10 years.
That's a lie! Even if all the people who got done in were all bad guys, I can't believe that my boss was the Grim Reaper. Gina-sama.
Too much hurt in this court! There's no doubt that Tobias Gregson was involved in those plans. Even if you're still an apprentice, you must have heard something from the detective as well.
I don't know a thing. I don't believe you.
Testify as a detective. This is the best thing you can do for your boss now. In that case, witness, the court orders you to testify now. Testify about the facts recorded in Detective Gregson's notebook. Poor Gina! Why? Why? The Grim Reaper's notebook. This notebook contains all the Grim Reaper's deeds for the past 10 years. There are dates, places, names, and stuff. The final date is October 31st. The final place was the Barra block, and the name of the target. The name of the target was someone who escaped the Grim Reaper's judgment 10 years ago.
But the boss didn't do it. He was just investigating the Grim Reaper.
What was the name? Witnesses are not to state their opinions on the stand. You will testify only about the facts. Oh my god, poor Gina.
Poor Gina-san.
Oh, wait, this is Naruhodō? Yes. Sorry, I was like, is this Susanoo? Okay. Poor Gina-san. She looks like she's in pain. Well, surely you understand now, Naruhodō Ryūnosuke. Understand what? In that notebook, along with the final location, was also the name of his final target. There's no way anyone but an associate of the Grim Reaper could know such information. So then, just who was the final target? Detective Lestrade, go ahead and read the name. The name written next to the note reading Barra block.
Huh?
How do I read this? Gina-san only just finished learning how to read.
That's not the problem, Naruhodō! This name doesn't belong to an English person. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Uh-oh! It's not an English person? Seshiro. Jikoku. I guess? What? What did she just... Jikoku Seshiro.
It can't be. Judge Jikoku-sama?
Seshiro Jikoku. You're quite right. It's not an English person's name.
But we met him! Judge Jigoku, here in London. How can he be an assassin's target?
As I already said, the Grim Reaper failed.
Oh.
Detective Gregson allowed his target to escape and return to England. But the Grim Reaper couldn't allow such failure. That's why the detective was murdered. And by the Grim Reaper's own hands. And the Grim Reaper in question is the defendant, Baroque Van Zieks. Indeed, it does seem to make sense.
Sogi, have you planned for the trial to go this way since the very beginning?
Oh! Leg on the witness stand! For the impropriety of partaking of the Lord's chalice from the defendant's seat, I beg your indulgence.
Lord Van Zieks!
The defendant is not permitted to speak freely. Stand down at once. As for whether or not I'm the Grim Reaper, I will allow the court to decide. But there's one thing I can say for certain. And that's that this girl here is no proper detective.
What gives? Anyway, I'm more of an inspector, got it?
All you've done is repeat the information you were given and read the notebook that was handed to you. That doesn't qualify as testimony. I suppose the rest will go according to the prosecutor's plan, won't it? Oh! I can't pretend I don't understand how you feel, believing me to be an unforgivable criminal. After all, I'm the Grim Reaper who previously sent your father to the gallows. However, you yourself seem qualified to be an excellent Grim Reaper, at least on par with me. Think that you would try to use a worthless testimony like this to accuse me.
Oh my god! Savage!
What?
Savage! Naruhodō-sama, this could be the chance we've been waiting for. Your Honor, please, allow the defendant to speak. He's the involved party, the one who knows the most important information necessary for this cross-examination.
This freaking cane! Very well. I'll give special permission. The defendant may remain on the stand and make his statement. For the impropriety of expressing my respect to the Supreme Court's just spirit, I beg your indulgence. Don't raise your glass to me. Now then, defense, you will conduct your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. This notebook contains all the Grim Reaper's deeds for the past 10 years.
In other words, Detective Gregson was acting as the Grim Reaper.
Don't you start too. That's not the only possibility here. He might have been investigating the Grim Reaper in secret and written the results of the investigation in his notebook, or something.
If I may. When I began to be known as the Grim Reaper, I deliberately refrained from rejecting the name. I thought that if that name had the power to suppress crime in London, then that was fine.
And that's when you also began investigating the Grim Reaper privately.
I have confidence in the conclusion I drew. Gregson was a member of the Grim Reaper.
What the heck do you mean, a member?
Every one of the Grim Reaper's victims were shrewd, big-time villains. His deeds can't be the work of a single individual. We must conclude that it is, in fact, an organization. And is the central figure of that organization not you?
Sogi, calm down. Calm down, boy.
I employed a private eye in order to observe Gregson's action on a regular basis. Therefore, I was able to get my hands on the final location of his mission, which was recorded in this notebook.
And that was the bar block?
I got it into my head that it was a club here in London, and went alone that day to investigate.
And that's when you were seen by the members of the club.
Naturally, Detective Gregson was never at that club. At the time, the detective was headed for the steamship that had made port in France. These movements of his are confirmed by the passport found in the trunk he was carrying. Did we ever mention the trunk? Did we ever mention the trunk we only mentioned the passport, right? Oh my god, Asogi! Continued the testimony with what was written in the notebook.
Fine. Is something wrong, Naruhodō-sama? You seemed a little preoccupied for a moment just now.
It's nothing. Did I imagine that? No! You're not imagining it! I heard it too! There are dates, places, names, and stuff. The final date is October 31st. Oh, Asogi! Dates, places, names, and stuff. What kind of stuff do you mean?
Like, there's always one more name next to the victim's name.
One more name?
I think I told you this yesterday, but the same name is written in here over and over again.
Would that name happen to be Anne Sasha?
Oh, right. You knew her, didn't you, Naruhodo?
No! Please, don't make it sound like we're friends or something. Please, no! Anne Sasha. That's the name of the murderer.
What? A murderer?
Gregson's role was to be the brains behind the planning. He'd thoroughly investigate the target, then decide when, where, and who to use in order to take them out. So the one who did the actual deed was someone else. If that's true, then I must agree. It is rather like an organization.
Then this passport.
The passport holder may be accompanied by up to one other person. The person who accompanied him. Naturally, it was the murderer who was told to rob Mr. Jigoku Seshiro's of his life. I can't. This is just too much Japanese. God damn it. Oh no! Baby slaps are back! Gina-san, the last bits in the notebook. The bar block and Jigoku Seshiro. What's the other name written next to them?
Actually, that's the only place that doesn't have a name.
What?
I guess this thing is called a question mark. There's only one of those written next to them.
In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin. Oh my god! No! Oh, I got chills. I don't like where this is going and I don't want to go there. But Gregson was the one who was supposed to be formulating the plans.
This seems awfully significant.
An unnamed killer. The final place was bar block and the name of the target. Press. I don't like this. And it says that the name of the Grim Reaper's target was Jigoku Seshiro?
That's what's written here. Jigoku is such a weird name. The only one I've heard as weird as it is Naruhodo.
Well, I mean, we are from the same country. Mr. Jigoku is a judge in the Great Japanese Empire. I remember him. Oh, why is the door open? BRB, 1 second. I'm back. Okay. I remember him. He studied abroad in our country 16 years ago. Yugoku studied international law in exchange under Lord Vortex at the time. Bearded Youth was quite an outstanding man. I guess Judge Jigoku learned a lot from Lord Vortex. Yeah, that's great. As I recall, he returned to the Great Japanese Empire 10 years ago.
10 years ago. After that case, correct?
Precisely. Their return to Japan was decided swiftly due to the influence of the Professor case. Sogi's ready to murder somebody. What could his name be doing in the detective's notebook?
This seems like it's getting kind of personal, but it's not my concern, so I'm gonna continue now, okay?
The name of the target was someone who escaped the Grim Reaper's judgment 10 years ago. What do you mean? How is Judge Jigoku a bad guy? I thought he was a cool guy!
Don't ask me! How should I know? Come to think of it, my dad said this. That Jigoku-sama once found himself in the defendant's chair here in the in the Great British Empire. I believe it was at the time of the professor's trial.
You're right. Jigoku made a forceful case up on the witness stand, trying to lighten Asogi Genshin's punishment. He was so worked up at the time that he ended up breaking the witness stand. I still laugh about that. Additionally, because he used words that brought humiliation on the Great British Empire, he ended up being prosecuted. Jigoku! What a mess. Just now, I remembered. I was in charge of prosecuting that trial.
You, Lord Van Zeeks?
It was connected to the professor, a sort of secondary trial. He paid reparations for the witness stand and was declared not guilty.
Yes, that's it.
What? Don't tell me you've forgotten your own rule, defendant. Those who receive not guilty verdicts in trials prosecuted by the Grim Reaper never make it through alive.
What? No way! Are you saying that the reason Judge Jigoku was targeted was...
When the trial ended, Judge Jigoku returned to Japan at once. Therefore, the Grim Reaper was unable to harm him. However, 10 years later, he returned to London as a target. And that's the end of it. The Grim Reaper's determination, I mean.
Ridiculous! Who would try to kill him just for that?
The Grim Reaper became ridiculous the moment he decided to murder those who had been declared not guilty. The rules of the Grim Reaper holds himself to cannot be... What is the sentence? Okay, I missed the word. The rules the Grim Reaper holds himself to cannot be comprehended by the likes of us.
But... Hold it! I've bloody had it!
Also, that looked like Iggy. That looked like objection, actually. Gina-san.
You all keep spewing self-indulgent crap about how the boss was laying the groundwork to have killed people. Naruhodō.
Yes?
Why won't you say anything? Where's your usual objection?
Huh?
Do what you always do, and find a contradiction. Someone here is lying. Expose it. But my boss. Please,
Naruhodō. Oh my god, Gina. Gina. Come here, let me hug you. Yeah, well, the script said hold it, but I saw the text on the screen. I think it's actually objection. But, you know, I was just reading off the script, so. That statement brings shame upon the testimony. I knew a little street rat pickpocket wasn't fit to be made a detective. Wow! Wow! I'm gonna kick your butt! As soon as this trial concludes, your ID will be revoked. Am I understood? Wow! Duck you, man! Duck you!
What the hell? The world is nothing but lies! I'm the one who wants out! Gina-sama.
Just now, Gina-san's words steeled my resolve.
Huh?
Actually, there was one thing in this cross-examination. One statement that I just can't help being bothered by.
Naruhodō-sama, what on earth is it?
Can't let the wailing of Gina-san's heart be in vain. Oh, the music picked up!
Come on, help me, Naruhodō. Find a contradiction.
Mata!
Thank you very much, Gina-san. You strengthened my resolve.
Huh?
What are you talking about, defense? Among the words spoken during this cross-examination, there's been one contradiction that I just can't explain. What? A contradiction?
Naruhodō!
I still don't know what it could mean, but the person whose statement contained this contradiction is... I'm gonna have to do a reset. Okay, so my translator gave me a couple of wrong answers. The answer's gonna be, I think, Asogi, because Asogi did say something that did bother me. But she did give me a couple of them that are, like, wrong answers, so we're gonna go through that. And I'm gonna reset this, so. That was Lord Van Zeek's, of course. Me? Ha! You went pale just now, as if to say, yep, you hit the bullseye. I agree, I did go pale, as if to say, you can't really think it was me. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm going to venture a guess that the evidence you're about to present will provide the answer. In that case, defense, the court orders you to present evidence. Evidence that reveals the contradiction voiced by the pale Grim Reaper. I can present anything. Let's just... I was hoping I never have to present this evidence. What do you say for yourself, Lord Van Zeeks? If you didn't want to present that evidence in the first place, I wish you'd just put it away, if you would. Huh? After all, that evidence will only serve to make yourself go even paler. Ah! I pray that you don't find yourself under the Grim Reaper's blade next. Oh, too ominous. It appears that we do well to return to the testimony now. Be sure to study harder from now on, before the Grim Reaper comes for you. I guess I better listen to everyone one more time. That's it, for the testimony, huh?
Maybe the fact that Van Zeek-sama appeared on the stand will be good for us.
Yes. Gina-san doesn't know anything about this, so there's no information we can draw out of her. Okay, I didn't get a penalty, that's cool.
Kazuma-sama reacted strongly to Van Zeek-sama's words, didn't he?
The part about him being a Grim Reaper on par with Lord Van Zeek's, huh? That is Sogi. Sure, he plans to prove his guilt beyond a shadow of a doubt. And maybe that's intended to be his revenge against the man who took the life of his father.
In any case, if we don't find some sort of contradiction in this testimony, the trial will likely be put to an end. Let's listen closely once more to everyone's words. Find a contradiction!
Matta!
I don't like where we're going! You strengthen my resolve. What are you talking about? There's been one contradiction I can't explain. A contradiction? I still don't know what it could mean, but the person whose statement contained this contradiction is Sogi. It was you, Asogi Kazuma. Me? What do you mean, defense? Prosecutor Asogi hasn't made a statement. What do you claim that I said? You had a slip of the tongue and revealed a certain fact in the process. If you look at this evidence, I'm sure you'll understand it too. In that case, defense, the court orders you to present evidence. Evidence that reveals the contradiction in Prosecutor Sogi's statement. I knew it! How did you know about this trunk? This is Detective Gregson's trunk. Metal. It's quite a heavy trunk. What the? This is a bloodstain, and it's still fresh. Oh, Sogi?
What? That wasn't a sauce stain from his fish and chips?
The fact that there's a bloodstain left on his trunk means that the victim was carrying it when he was murdered. Ridiculous. There's nothing regarding this trunk written in the report from Scotland Yard.
Yes, about that. It seems that one of the eyewitnesses stole it from the scene of the crime right after the incident
And tried to sell it.
and I was the one who found it, with this sharp nose of mine.
Oh my goodness. In other words, no one else should have known about this trunk, aside from those who were present when Detective Gregson was killed. However, during the cross-examination earlier, you said this, Asogi. At the time, the detective was headed for the steamship that had made port in France. Those movements of his are confirmed by the passport found in the trunk he was carrying. How did you know about the trunk? France is synonymous for travel. I should think it was quite natural to assume he'd have a passport in his trunk. The issue is the fact that you knew it was a metal trunk. Asogi, please answer me. Where were you on October 31st? Asogi? Dunkirk Harbor, on the steamship RFS Barra Block. Is that what you want me to say, Naruhodō? Asogi, you... I hadn't thought of it until now, but if Asogi was there, then it could only have been for one purpose.
Naruhodō-sama, you can't mean... But that would be terrifying.
You ought to know, Naruhodō. The only thing that matters in this courtroom is evidence. When Detective Gregson went on business trips, he always carried that trunk with him. As of right now, we still haven't proven anything. Asogi, are you saying you want me to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt? Want me to prove that you were in the same place as Detective Gregson that day. This man was with Gregson. There's a clue that will indicate that. Seeping within that trunk. Sleeping. And as of right now, this lead is incomplete. I still need to confirm it, but I really doubt I'm wrong. I really doubt I'm wrong too, but I don't think that's gonna happen! The state of affairs is frightening, but we cannot neglect to confirm it. The court orders the defense to indicate the clue left on the trunk. The evidence that ties Prosecutor Sogi to Detective Gregson is... Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, here we go. Time to open up this thing. Let's open up this thing. Let's go. Brace yourselves, everyone! This is gonna be bad! There's a chink in the metal here. Almost as if it was slashed with a blade. I'm missing dialogue here. Hold on a second, I'm missing dialogue. Oh no, I have to note this. Mute that for a second. Sorry, for some reason when I try to open up a notepad, the volume goes up. Hold on a second, I need to like note this for my translator later because I'm missing dialogue. Come on, let me open up the notepad. The lead pipe. Yes, exactly. There's dialogue. Where is this dialogue? Dialogue missing, dialogue missing. Page, wow, page 40? I'm only on page 40? Goodness. Page 40 of like 200 something here. Goodness. Okay, I don't know what happened to these lines here. Unfortunately, I do not have the lines here. I don't know where they are. Unless did I get the, oh wait, did I make a mistake? Did I not present the right thing? Am I okay? What? Okay, fine. I didn't miss anything. What the crap? Did I, okay, I'll take this. But what? Why? Why? Did I not touch the thing? Did I not present the right thing? Did I present the passport instead? Is that what happened? I don't know. Okay, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. What? Why is it not letting me present this? It's not letting me present it for some reason. What the? Ooh. Oh, don't tell me I'm stuck. Whoops. Oh, wow. I don't understand. What did I pull? What did I pull up? Oh, shoot. Okay, never mind. I'm having, like, game malfunctions here. Did I not save? Oh! I guess we have to go through all that again. I'm sorry! Well then. I thought I saved, but I guess I didn't. Where did the frick am I now? Alright, let me do. Gotta get through this real fast. I thought I saved, but I guess I didn't. Question mark. But we examined the blade tip, so I don't understand why it didn't. I don't know. I don't understand why it doesn't let me question. Man, I was about to take my break and everything too. I guess this is the break. I don't know. Man, it was getting good. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, really, I don't understand what's going on here. I guess at some point I have to flub up somewhere during these cases because it's been pretty smooth. Hey, it's been pretty smooth the last 4 cases. Getting through it as quickly as I can. I'm sorry, I can't skip because it's reading that I haven't been through these again, so I can't fast forward. Fast enough anyway. Come on, there's a really good scene coming up too, and I'm like, let me get there, let me get there. Okay, we're back here again. I'm gonna save. Alright, let me try to examine it. I examined it before and we... I don't know. I don't know anymore. Okay. Open this up. Now I don't have the dialogue for this on me, so let's see. Can I get this? No, it's not giving me anything. It must be really sensitive, cause like, I don't know. What? It is really sensitive! Holy crap! No, you can't zoom in. Holy crap, well, we got it, but dang, son, that's so sensitive. There's a chink in the metal here, almost as if it was slashed with a blade.
A blade?
It looks like you've got it hanging from your hip again today, Asogi. The famous sword, Karma. Naturally. Would you mind drawing the blade right here, right now?
He broke the sword! Did he really break the sword? He broke the sword! Oh my goodness, not Karma!
I advise you not to forget. This man, the son of that murderer. Bailiff, prepare to disarm Prosecutor Asogi. That won't be necessary.
Oh no, Asogi! No! No!
The tip. It's been snapped off. Broke? Yeah, I'm confused too, man! If the break in the sword matches the piece of blade stuck in the trunk, we should have our answer as to who was at the scene of the murder. Well, Asogi Kazuma? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Asogi, what have you done? I should have expected as much from you, Naruhodō. That was outstanding. You've dealt me a blow. Prosecutor Asogi, does that mean you? I headed to Dunkirk with Detective Gregson on October 31st in order to accomplish a certain mission. Which means that the single companion mentioned in this passport. Yes, it was me. So, what was this mission? To assassinate a target.
What?
So then, was it you? Were you the killer written in this notebook? The one who accepted the Grim Reaper's order to murder Judge Gyakuten? I'd like to just make one thing clear. I haven't killed anyone. What do you mean? I admit that I accompanied Detective Gregson after accepting the assassination mission. However, I never had any intention of actually carrying out the mission. We didn't intend to carry it out. I think we can assume that Kazuma-sama's words are the truth. After all, the reality is that Gyakuten-sama is safe, and he arrived here in London. On October 31st, I boarded a train with Detective Gregson. We left from Dover Harbor and crossed over to Dunkirk, France. We were headed for a cabin in the RFS bar block, the place specified in the plan. Oh shit, right! At the start of Case 4, we found out Asogi wasn't in London! Oh dang! Oh man! Ah! My head!
And that was Gyakuten-sama's cabin, wasn't it?
Indeed. Judge Gyakuten wasn't in his cabin. We attempted to wait for him, but you had no intention of carrying out the mission. I didn't come to the Great British Empire in order to kill anyone, so I left Detective Gregson and disembarked from the steamship. And I spent the night in an inn in Dunkirk. The next day, I returned to England. You stayed over in Dunkirk? If you check the inn's guest book, you'll find my signature in it. Confirming it would be simple. In that case, what happened to Gyakuten? The detective wasn't a murderer. That detective wasn't a murderer. I'm sure Judge Gyakuten survived. As for what happened after that, incredibly easy to deduce based on the situation. Detective Gregson failed to take care of the target and returned to England. And He probably gave his report to the Grim Reaper in that room on Fresno Street. The Grim Reaper, upon hearing the report, pulled the trigger in order to dispose of the poor pawn that had failed his mission. Oh boy. That's the truth behind Detective Gregson's murder. However, if you intend to claim that you didn't do anything, then why? Why was the tip of your sword embedded in the detective's trunk? I don't need to answer that. Yes, you do! Yes, you do! Yes, you goddamn do! The victim cause of death was a shooting. The tip of my katana has nothing to do with this case. Therefore, I will remain silent on this matter. Asogi! Anyway, the court orders the katana to be presented as evidence at once. As you wish. The famous sword Karma, a famous sword passed down through the Asogi clan. The beautiful sword's tip has broken off. I like how it added beautiful. Oh, that poor sword! There's something we must confirm at once. Is Jijoku Seshiro truly safe right now? What? Safe? A fair point. It is incredibly important. According to what I've heard, as of yesterday, no one can confirm whether Mr. Jigoku is still alive. How did you... If a guest of the Great British Empire were to go missing for an entire day, then we must assume that it's because something happened to that person. Can't mean that he... Are you saying that Judge Jigoku has already been murdered? The Grim Reaper has more than one pawn at his disposal, and it would have been possible for him to give the orders for an assassination from his cell. Isn't that right, Lord Baroque Van Seeks? Only if I were the Grim Reaper in the first place. The venom between these two! Jesus! Oh my god, make this trial end faster! Order! Order! The trial we put on an emergency hold starting now for the next 30 minutes. Hold. Those invited for the symposium are required to remain in contact with headquarters. If headquarters is unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's safety within 30 minutes, the one thing we can conclude is that the worst occurred.
No! Jigoku-sama!
No one would have any reason to murder a Japanese person who only arrived in the Great British Empire 2 days ago. Except for one person. A certain tenacious Grim Reaper who was unable to bring him down 10 years ago. I have to agree with you there. Defense, Mr. Naruhodō.
Yes, Your Honor!
For your sake as well, I pray that we are able to confirm Mr. Jigoku's status during the course of this 30-minute recess.
Huh?
Now then, the court will now take a 30-minute recess. I think I actually might take that time to take a break, too. Is it to be continued? No? Oh, okay, I guess we're just gonna chill out in the courtroom.
So, Kazuma-sama was an assassin for the Grim Reaper. It feels like something straight out of a nightmare.
I don't want to believe it myself, but I'm not the type of guy to make up pointless lies.
I have a bad feeling about all of this. I learned that something has happened to Jigoku-sama. The consequences that await us is likely the worst possible one.
I've been able to feel it ever since today's trial began. I sense that some overwhelming force is pushing us towards a predetermined conclusion. But we only have 30 minutes left. Don't know what we can possibly do besides wait.
There's there's one other course of action available to us. Or perhaps I should say, of course of ear action.
Oh! The Home-san Iris-chan gave us.
In today's trial, if you find yourself driven into a corner that you can't escape, just try pulling Mr. Bunny's ear as hard as you can.
We might just be in such a situation right now. What should we do? Should we pull Home-san's ear?
Pull it! Pull it! Pull it, damn it!
In that case, let's just throw caution to the wind and do it.
Right. I'll watch over you.
One manly pull, coming right up.
Ow! That scream. It was Home-sama.
Home-san, where are you? Here! I'm right here, folks.
The stuffed animal. It's talking. Let's try pulling it as hard as we can one more time.
Alright, one more manly pull, coming up.
No!
Hey there! Don't you start yanking whenever you feel like it!
Home-sama, where are you right now?
Oh, little ol' us? We're currently on board the steamship RFS Barra Block in the first class cabin hallway.
RFS Barra Block?
This steamship finished unloading its cargo yesterday and has departed from England. Currently, it's made port at Dunkirk Harbor. It'll part again in half an hour.
Perfect!
Dunkirk? You mean France? Even I'm not capable of leaving over Dover Channel, you see? Yesterday we caught a carriage, then a train, and a few other things, and came racing over. In order to get aboard this steamship.
No way! Does that mean you figured it out? You figured out that the RFS Barra Block was the true crime scene?
Try saying my name for me, would you, Mr. Naruhodō?
The greatest detective in the world, Sherlock Holmes.
That's right. Good lad, Mr. Naruhodō.
All I can say is that I ought to have expected as much.
Ow! Miss Susato, don't yank my ears so recklessly.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
May I cut in, Holmes? How long have you been there, Bigatoba? I believe I was the one who found the RFS Barra Block.
Are we framed from Mikatoba's perspective? What? Oh my god!
I happened to see a certain notebook at the police station and remember about the ship ticket. Of course I know that! I just wanted to hear them say my name. Well, be as that may.
We're in a recess right now. The trial will reconvene in about 30 minutes. But if we aren't able to indicate a new clue at that time...
Don't worry, that's precisely why we're here. I'm sure we'll have good news for you in the next 30 minutes.
Oh man, Holmes-san, thank you so much.
Now then, contact me again later.
Right, bye then.
Ow! Hey, why are you pulling my ear again? Why did you design such a telecommunication device, Holmes? Don't ask me! It was Iris who made them! I understand how much fun you have playing Savior, Holmes, but the RFS Barra Block will be departing in 30 minutes. If you don't hurry our investigating along, we'll end up in Napoli, Italy next. You make a fair point, Mikatoba. In that case, let's hop to it! Cabin 2 of the first class cabin block. That's definitely his cabin. But we seem to have one small problem. The crew member in front of the door is glaring this way.
Oh my god, we're really we're doing this from Mikatoba's perspective. This is so good. I'm so happy. This is exciting.
What are you two up to over there? I should think you'd be able to tell by looking. I'm the great world-renowned detective. Actually, the one who doesn't ring any bells here is you. Anyone who would be able to tell I'm first mate Madoff Stroganoff. Why does it say Holmes? Why does it say Holmes? What the heck is with his arm? You're a detective. Ha! Who believed that? Look at this, Mikatoba. I never imagined I'd meet one of my huge fans in a place like this. Is this a tattoo? It says Holmes. Even I feel a little conflicted about being loved like this. What the hell are you talking about? No, who cares? Just go away. What a sad little man you are. Knowing my name but not recognizing the real thing. Now then, for you, my dear fan, I shall demonstrate a deduction. Can I take a break before we continue? I was trying to find a spot to stop, but there was just not a good spot, so